Welcome, everybody. I'm Marc David, founder of the Institute for the Psychology of Eating. We are in the Psychology of Eating podcast, and I am here today with Denise. Welcome, Denise.
Thank you. Hi, Marc.
I'm so glad we're here. I'm so glad we're doing this together. The idea is you and I haven't met before, and we're going to do a session together and see if we can help move you forward in a good way. So if you could wave your magic wand and you can get whatever you wanted with food and body, what would that be for you?
I think my ultimate wish would be to figure out what my natural weight is, because my weight has been pretty much all over the place for the past couple of years for different reasons, and to then be able to consistently eat in a way that's best for me, because I've just had so many outside influences on the way that I eat, just to trust myself in knowing what's best for my body and my food choices.
Got it. So you want to sort of discover, determine like what's your natural weight, and then how do you best eat so you can live there?
Right.
Okay, that makes perfect sense. So how long have you noticed that your weight has fluctuated?
Well, I was pretty natural, kind of healthy weight up until I got into my 20s, and then I progressively just gained weight every year. I was never like a yo-yoer where I would go up and down until I had weight loss surgery about 8 years ago, and I had a lot of complications with the surgery. Had to have a second surgery, had obstructed bowel surgery. And so within the last 8 years, my weight has fluctuated over 100 pounds up and down. So now I feel really confused as to where my natural weight is. And I get a lot of outside information and different ideas from different things, but then I start to obsess about it, and it causes a lot of stress, as far as then it's like I don't even want to think about eating at all.
So the weight loss surgery happened, did you say 8 years ago?
Yes.
Okay, and before the weight loss surgery, where was your weight at?
My highest weight was around 240. It just progressively, I would say my weight stayed probably around 130 all through like college and high school, up until I got to about like my late 20s. And then from my late 20s into my 30s, I just gained more and more every year.
So once the weight loss surgery happened, in that 8 years, your weight has fluctuated as much as 100 pounds.
Yeah, I started at 240, and then my weight got as low as 115. And so I was kind of underweight at that point. My weight stabilized around 140 for a long time. And then with COVID, and I was on different medications, I've gained a lot of weight over like the past 3 years. So now I'm at my highest weight since having surgery, but I'm still like 50 pounds less than when I had the surgery. So I've been able to keep off 50 pounds, but it's just so confusing to know, because it's such a broad range of like where my body is going to feel the best and kind of settle, because I feel like right now I'm probably definitely overweight.
So when you started gaining weight during the last 2-3 years, what do you attribute that to? Like, if you had a guess in your mind, I think this weight came on because
I think part of it was I was taking sleep medication that was causing me to night sleep, and I was like overeating, and I didn't even realize I was doing it. And that caused probably for me to gain about 25 pounds. And then I think just overall stress, work stress, and trying to lose that weight, trying to research and find so many different things to lose that weight. I think the stress caused me to gain even more weight from that.
Got it. So when you say the stress caused me to gain even more weight than that, do you think it's the stress alone? Is it sort of stress eating that takes over?
I was definitely stress eating for a while. I would say probably about the last 2 months, I've felt better and felt like myself again and have been able to manage stress better. So I haven't been doing that. And my weight has come down about, I think I've lost like 12 pounds over the past like 2 months, and just not really trying to, just kind of eating the way that I guess feels best for me. But I'm afraid of, sometimes I feel like it could be a little bit restrictive, and I get concerned, is the way that I'm eating, is that going to be consistent to keep losing or figure out what my natural weight is going to be?
Mhm. So when you stress eat, what do you reach for?
Carbs.
Like, give me an example.
Crunchy, kind of the crunchy like pretzels, animal crackers, things that are really easily to digest, that you can eat a lot of them at one time.
I forgot all about the existence of animal crackers. That was like
I know.
food for me. That's so funny. Wow. Um, so, so, okay, so you reach for the carbs, you reach for the crunchy stuff when you feel like you're in stress eating. And are you in a relationship these days?
Yes, I'm married.
How long you been married?
It will be almost 7 years in a week.
All right. How does your partner feel about your weight?
He has seen me at every single weight, and he just always says he loves me no matter what. He just wants me to love myself and feel good about myself and to be healthy.
That's a sweet partner. I like that.
Hmm.
Does that does that make an impression on you when he says that?
I think he's being honest and truthful, but because I don't feel good about myself, it's hard to receive it.
Mhm. Got it. Okay. So here's some initial thoughts. We, you, and we meaning the rest of the people in the world, we don't know what your natural weight is. I don't know that anybody can give you that answer. I don't know that you can find that answer online. I don't know that you could find that answer in the research. I'm not sure that that's the best question to be pondering on for you. What's my natural weight? I mean, I get the question. You know, you want to find a weight that you feel good at. My guess is there's a range that you have in your mind that you say to yourself, this is where I want to be. Is that
Hmm.
true? Where would you like to be weight-wise?
I feel like I felt my best around like between like 140 and 160.
Okay. So there's your range that you would like to be at. And right now you're at
85.
Got it. So the challenge is your body's been through a lot. Your body's been through a lot, particularly in the last 8 years. You've had multiple surgeries. And so your body is not in its typical natural state. And like you mentioned, stress happens, COVID happens, work stress happens, and life happens. And then we end up eating. And I'm feeling like for you, rather than ask for what's my natural weight, I would love for you to focus on who am I as an eater and what would feel best for me, not for my weight, what would feel best for me in terms of how I eat, how food makes me feel. So let me ask you this. Other than wanting to be at your ideal weight, to be at your target weight, to be somewhere between 140, 160, what else would you like food to do for you?
I do have lupus and fibromyalgia. And so I've done a lot of reading, and it doesn't seem like there's anything really conclusive, kind of evidence-based to help. Like I've tried like low FODMAP, I've done like anti-inflammatory, and I didn't really see any results, and it kind of wound up having me want to eat more when I think because I felt so restricted after those things. So it kind of messed with my head a little bit, especially the low FODMAP, because it was just so many different food groups that are kind of eliminating. And I think it was because I did it too long and eliminated so many things at one time for way too long instead of reintroducing things at that time, because I had, from having so many abdominal surgeries, I had SIBO. And so that's where I was trying to figure out what would agree with me and what wouldn't. So I think that's kind of an example where I feel like I have so much information that I don't know. I have all these kind of authority figures, doctors and things saying how I should eat, that I feel like I don't know what is best for me because I have so many different opinions.
Sure, that is totally fair, and I'm really glad you said that. So you're a smart lady. You've done your research. You go to the research. You go to the experts, and that's what I would do if I was in your shoes. If I had any dis-ease condition that I wanted to heal, if I wanted to have an optimum diet for my weight, for my health, yeah, I'm gonna start studying. I'm gonna get online and I'm gonna learn things. And as you've discovered, you can learn a lot of different things. And none of those things are necessarily all the same. They differ. And so I think what you're discovering and what a lot of people have discovered is that you're in a nutritional exploration. So this is an exploration. I don't know that it's about finding the one true way to eat. I don't suspect that at some point you're going to wake up and you're going to find the ideal diet that's going to just hit all the right buttons for you. I think it's going to be an ongoing exploration. And I think that given the studying that you've done, given all the trial and error that you've done, and given that you've learned that certain diets that are very restrictive, they don't necessarily give you the benefit that you're looking for, and they give you some drawbacks, i.e. they make you feel deprived and then you want to eat. So what I would love to see you do is to respectfully throw out everything you've learned, meaning all the voices in your head. And from now on, the voice you're going to follow is the nutritional expert within. And at this point, there's nobody that knows your body better than you do. There's nobody that knows the nuances of your body better than you do. Now, you also have a lot of learning, you have a lot of information, and you have a lot of experience. Certain foods you like, certain foods you don't like. Certain ways of eating, certain diets, you eat them and you're going to find yourself wanting to eat more because it's too restrictive. So the feedback I'm hearing from you, if I'm helping interpret what I think is your body wisdom. I think your body wisdom is moving you towards a way of eating that's not extreme, a way of eating that's more middle ground that you invent. So yeah, you want to do your best to stay away from foods that you know, gosh, these just aren't good for me. You also want to understand that you're human and you're going to want to have some fun foods here and there. And why not try to see if you can tune in at each meal and each snack and ask yourself, like, what would best nourish me in this moment? Like, what would feel nourishing? What would feel good to me in my own personal experience of the food, like tasting it? So what would give me pleasure? What would feel healthy? And in a way, take the goal of weight loss off the table. Because the conversation of weight loss complicates things for you and for a lot of people. Because if you're trying to find your natural way of eating, but I have to lose weight, is this going to help me lose weight? What happens is you're going to start to doubt yourself. You're going to start to question yourself. You're going to try to skew your approach to weight loss. And what I've noticed is that the body can find more of its natural weight as we become more of our natural self. So as you're more the natural Denise, your body can be more of the natural Denise's body. So the more natural Denise kind of follows her nutritional intuition. Takes everything that you've learned and, okay, let me just relax and get all the voices of all the experts out of my head, what I want to have at this meal. And just really follow, as an experiment, follow an intuitive path. Because there's the intuitive part of you, I don't know how much airtime she gets. I think you're trying to find the answers, which is good, but you haven't found the answers. So let's try something different.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in general, do you tend to be a fast eater, moderate eater, slow eater in terms of speed?
I would say pretty, I would guess moderate to slow.
Great. Okay. Very, very helpful. And what do you do? How do you, when you stress eat, what do you tell yourself after sort of you're done stress eating? Like, what's the conversation in your head? You just ate a bunch of pretzels.
Probably I didn't need to do that, but probably I'm very hard on myself and beat myself up when I eat foods that I have been told and tell myself that I shouldn't eat. So there's a lot of the should type of thinking. So then I'll have like guilt and shame when I eat certain foods like that.
Yes. So here's a good practice. You know, that's one of the biggest challenges I find for so many people of being an eater, because we've been taught to have a list in our minds of good foods and bad foods. These are good foods, these are the bad ones. And when somebody says, don't eat that food, it's bad for you. If you say to yourself, don't eat that food, it's bad for you, another part of the brain hears, I'm a bad person if I eat that food. And of course, we prove it out because, oh, I ate the bad food. Now I got to punish myself, because that's what you do to bad people. You punish them. And punishment could equal guilt. Punishment could equal shame. Punishment could equal all kind of negative self-talks. There's all different ways to punish ourselves for having eaten a quote unquote bad food. So then what happens is all that guilt and all that shame does not feel good to us. And normally when we don't feel good, we want to feel better. We want to get out of those unwanted feelings. And a lot of us reach for food when we have uncomfortable feelings. So the very feelings that we create from eating a food that's on our bad list, bad girl, you should feel guilty, you should feel ashamed, creates the condition to want to turn to food so we can get out of our own self-created self-attack, self-misery. You follow me?
Yes.
So this is really, I think, an opportunity where we have to self-graduate from self-punishment. So in other words, instead of looking at good or bad, let's look at it as you're learning how to best nourish yourself. Nothing wrong with you, nothing to feel guilty about. It's not easy being a human being who eats, as you know. If this was easy, we wouldn't be in this conversation and you wouldn't have been on this, crazy journey. So this is not easy for a lot of people. So you're learning how to best nourish yourself. Just like an infant is learning how to crawl. There's nothing wrong with an infant who doesn't know how to crawl. We don't say bad infant, you should feel guilty about yourself. Like, no, learning how to crawl. So you're learning how to better nourish yourself with food. And sometimes you will reach for pretzels. Sometimes you will reach for the food that's on your bad list. So how about if the new practice is, oh, you know something? Wish I wouldn't have done that, but it's perfectly understandable. I'm turning to food because all humans at some point turn to food to regulate their emotions. Every infant does that. Every child does that. Every baby does that. You learn, it's in ourselves. You feel bad, you eat food, you feel better. Crying, screaming little infant, give that infant mama and the bottle, mama and the breast. In a second, infant is relaxed. Infant has the cellular genetic memory, feel bad, eat food, feel better. So when you turn to food to feel better, that's natural. Can it become problematic if you do it too much? Sure. Yeah, I can gain weight. I can eat stuff that doesn't make me feel healthy. So then it becomes a practice in how do I learn to soothe my unwanted emotions in ways other than food and eating. So a good homework assignment would be for you to just write an inventory, write a list of everything you do that can make you feel good. Everything you do that can give you some kind of pleasure or soothe stress and fear and worry. For me, it's listening to music. It could be watching little cute animal videos. It could be watching sports. It could be going out in nature. Sometimes I just stand out on the deck in the sun and breathe. So you could have a long list, or hopefully at least a medium list of things that you can do other than food that just bring you some type of a little bit of relaxation, a little bit of groundedness, a little bit of self-soothing. That becomes your mini Bible to do your best when you're feeling stressed, when you're feeling anxious, when you're feeling fearful, when you're feeling whatever, and you want to turn to food. It's just catching ourselves in the moment. Oh, I'm about to emotionally eat. What else can I do? So it's that practice, because right now you're practicing self-rejection. And that practice only leads to more self-rejection. It doesn't ever change that same destiny.
Right. It's like a vicious cycle.
It is. So you have to break that cycle. And it's literally stepping out of the good and bad, the moralism, good girl, bad girl. No, you're learning. That's what you would say to any of your best friends. Like if your best friend binge ate something or they emotionally ate a bag of pretzels, would you say to them, I don't like you anymore? You should feel guilty. You should feel ashamed of yourself. You're no good. You wouldn't say that to your best friend, right?
Right.
Therefore, don't say it to you. So it's learning how to start to manage that voice better. So I'm talking a lot. How is all this landing for you so far? What's standing out for you?
I feel like one of my biggest challenges is overcoming like the good and the bad. I feel like that's kind of where I stay stuck, because I think those messages have been ingrained in me for so long. So it's like I'm just constantly carrying around guilt, and when I try to find like that intuitive eating. It's almost like no food sounds good. Like I almost get put off by food in the sense that I get tired of thinking about what choices to make, that I think I'm like disconnected or kind of like disembodied, as you say, like, because I don't even really know what foods make me feel good, or because there's such that heavy set of rules around food.
Yes, yes, I so understand, and I'm glad you can see that. So really, it becomes a practice. I think I'm always looking at our relationship with food as a great teacher. So so as we're talking, I'm asking myself, how is your relationship with food trying to teach you? How is it asking you to grow as a person? How's it asking you to learn? And I think part of it is you're learning how to self-trust. Because here's the reality. No matter what you eat, no matter what I eat, no matter what anybody eats, the eventual destination of every nutritional approach is death. We're all going to die, no matter what we eat. So that's where we're going. So that's pretty much assured. So in between now and the time we die, we're eaters. We're going to be eating. And you've learned a lot. There's a lot of clutter. There's a lot of voices. And it's time to just trust in yourself. And trusting in yourself doesn't mean you're going to know exactly what to do. Trusting in yourself means, I'm going to start to follow my instinct, follow my intuition, explore with that, experiment with that. And, if I eat something and I end up not feeling good, then I'm trusting that I'm going to forgive myself. I'm trusting that I'm not going to start yelling at myself, speaking negatively about myself, and kicking myself when I'm down. So it's trusting that you're going to stand by you, even when something doesn't work out perfectly. Just like your partner stands by you when your body weighs this or your body weighs that, he's still standing by you. You can trust that. So you need, I think, to give yourself that gift, that I'm going to still stand by myself, no matter what the number on the scale does. And no matter if I stress eat or emotionally eat or not. And as we do that, the impetus to turn to food all the time becomes a lot less over time, because we're not compounding our constant discomfort through self-attack. It's hard enough to live a normal life with all its challenges. It's way harder to live a life when we're constantly or ongoingly in self-attack because of what I ate, what I shouldn't have eaten, how my body looks, what it weighs. So to me, again, I'd love to see you just start to practice letting go of the good and bad, using your intuition, and seeing what happens. So you're literally consciously saying, I'm not going to listen to all the voices in my head. This expert says that expert says this. Okay, I'm done. It's like 20 people yelling in your ear at once. At some point, you got to scream, stop.
Right.
You got to just tell them all to shut up, and you're in charge. You are the queen of your queendom. And your queendom begins with your mind and your body. That's where it begins. So you're the queen of that. You're the ruler of that. And you only punish people who are truly bad, who have truly done a crime. Eating a food that you wish you wouldn't have eaten, it's not a crime. It's a very human behavior. It's forgivable. Some crimes are difficult to forgive. Some ought to be forgiven immediately. This is one of them. So again, this piece around the weight. what if you decide that you don't know what your natural weight is, and you're starting to be more of your natural self, which is you're listening to your own body, you're listening to your own wisdom, you're experimenting. Animals in nature, they don't read books about what to eat, they don't get it online about what to eat. Cows aren't sitting in the field wondering, should I be eating grass, should I be eating apples, should I have a steak? No, they naturally know what to do. Animals are different from us in that way. They have certain instincts, but we're part animal. And we still have a very instinctive, intuitive nature. It just gets atrophied sometimes because we don't give it enough exercise. I think if you let go of having to eat for weight loss and eat for feeling healthy and good and having energy. Eat for feeling like I'm a human being. I want to enjoy my food, but I value my health. So I'm not going to punish my food with junk food all day long. I want my, and I don't know if I'm putting words in your mouth, but I'm guessing you want food to be healthy for you. You want it to give you some energy, and you want it to give you a long life. And yeah, you would like for it to help your body find its natural weight. So that begins with you tuning into yourself at this point. I think that's what's going to give you your best shot. I think you should stop Googling.
Buying a million books too, I think.
Yeah, this is your time to trust yourself. Trust in your life, trust in your journey, trust in what you've learned, and you put it together. Don't give so much power away to the experts. Experts work for you. All the experts that you buy their books or you get on their website or you do their programs, they work for you. Meaning they're your consultants. If I want to put a new roof on my house, I might call 3 different roofers and get estimates from all 3. I don't know anything about, I know a little bit about roofs because I've been a homeowner a bunch of times, but I don't really know at the end of the day. But I'm going to interview roofers. I'm going to see what they charge. I'm going to see what they have to say. And I'm going to use my intuition. I want to go with this person based on whatever my criteria is. I trust you the most. You seem to be the smartest. You're clear about what the issue is. You're clear you're going to do this in a certain amount of time. So even though I'm not the roofing expert, I'm the one who decides who I'm going to listen to. So there's a place where I think you're ready to claim your power more. Because otherwise, oh my God, what do I eat? And what's my natural weight? And we're going to have all these questions, and then you're going to have to dig around and find the answers. Like, no, let's just start to live your life. Follow your inner nutritionist. Find out where she lives in your head and in your body, and start tuning in.
I like that because I feel like I spend a lot of time just always looking for answers, and I haven't found them. So I think the idea of trusting that I already have the answer within me and just maybe need to stop and pay attention to it more without all the extraneous voices and things, that it's already probably there.
Yes.
And exploring that.
I think so for you. I really do. Because you've accumulated. You've done that part of your job. There's a certain point when we are challenged with a bodily challenge, with an illness, with an eating challenge. Yeah, you do your research. You gather up information. You try different things. And oftentimes what I've noticed when it comes to health and when it comes to food, that there's a point where we then need to graduate. And we need to start tuning into self. And stop stop the search for the perfect diet, the perfect way to eat. Let go of finding perfection and start being imperfect. We're not perfect human beings, we're imperfect human beings. And even once you find something that works for you, that might change in another 3, 4, 5 years because the body changes. So it's an ongoing dance. And I think the more we're able to listen to our bodies, the more that dance becomes enjoyable for us and useful for us and helpful for us and empowering.
Yeah, I think that sounds good, and it feels good to feel like that I don't need to keep searching all the time because it causes a lot of anxiety and stress. Like I feel like I'm just grasping at straws sometimes, just always trying to find answers.
Yes. I want to mention one more thing. I think that there's a place where your weight loss number, your goal, your rate, your goal range, it has more power over you than you realize. And maybe you do realize, but that range I think is extremely important for you, which is in part why you're trying so many different things and doing so much, because you want to get to that place.
Mm-hmm.
You've been to that place before. You've been at your target weight. You've been less than that. You've been more than that. And here you are. So it's been a journey that's gone up and down. And the more we give that target number ultimate power, less happy we are today, right now. Because you're not at your target weight. So how could you possibly be happy? Because I've concluded that when I do get that target weight, yes, that's going to be real happiness. That's going to be when all the goodies happen. I'm going to feel so good. But by definition, that means right now I can't feel good. Because you losing another 15 or 20 pounds or 30 pounds, whatever it is, will you feel lighter? Maybe. I know a lot of slender people, they are heavy. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
In their affect. If you're down on yourself, if you're depressed, if you don't like your life, you're heavy. And it doesn't matter how quote unquote light you are. So there's a place where lightness can be very qualitative, not for everybody. Obviously, there's certain weights you're going to just literally feel heavy. Understood. But I don't know that you're going to necessarily feel as light. But my point is you can feel light now by lightening up around the whole thing and not putting so much pressure on and not putting so much intensity on. It's not like you're trying to look really good to go to the prom so you can meet your future husband. You've done that already. You're in a relationship that works. You're with a man who accepts you for who you are. Whew, what a lovely thing. That's good news. And he wants you to feel good about yourself. He didn't say, I want you to lose weight so you can feel good about yourself. He just wants you to feel good because he knows, men know that if my woman feels good about herself, it's just going to be more fun.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's going to be more fun. She's going to be happier. The sex is going to be happier because she's going to be liking herself. It's just going to be fun. So part of it is sort of jumping on board with, okay, you have your preference. You have your personal preference, which is very respectable. You want to be at a certain weight. That's your preference. There's a difference between having a preference and having if I don't hit that number, I'm not going to like myself. I'm going to keep searching until the day that I die of how I'm going to hit that number. No, that's making weight loss the most important thing in your life. I think weight loss has to be downsized for you in terms of the order of its importance in your life.
Absolutely. Hearing you say that, it just makes me realize how much I need to take back my power, because I feel like I put so much energy into getting to a certain number, giving that number power, constantly worrying about my body and food, that it takes away from things that could be more pleasurable and joyful, because my headspace is not in the moment to enjoy things, because I am always constantly searching or spending free time trying to figure out something that, I mean, it's been years I'm not figuring it out. So
Yes. So if your relationship with food is a great teacher, one of the things it might be teaching you is to, okay, let's start to live your best life now. Let's just pretend that this is the body that you have, because it's the body you have. Might you lose weight? Sure. Might you not? Sure. We don't know. So you might as well get on board with, like, hey, this is the body I got. Let's enjoy it, because time is precious. You will never be as young and beautiful as you are right now, ever again. So now's the time. Now's the time to feel that youth and that beauty that you still have. Do you ever have the experience? I don't know, so many people like will look back on their pictures from 20 years ago and they thought like, oh, I look terrible. Like back then you thought you looked terrible. And then you look at your old pictures and you think, what was I thinking?
right.
So don't let that happen to you. Like you're in a great place. You have a preference for weight loss. That's fine. But take back your power from that number. Just let it be a preference. And don't let weight loss be number one on what's the most important thing in your life. Because it's natural that the most important things in our life are our purpose, our mission, our relationships, the people you love, whatever gifts you're giving to the world, whatever is near and dear to your heart, that's what's most important to you. Weight loss is not at the top of that list. Doesn't belong there.
Right. And it's been there too long, I feel like.
Yeah. And it really is about you reclaiming your power from a number on a scale. Because you look at the scale and the scale says, okay, you gain a pound, then we feel crappy about ourselves. So the tiny little machine is telling me how to feel about myself, and I am dutifully agreeing. Okay, machine, you show me I'm a pound more, I'm gonna feel bad about myself. Or I'm a pound less, I feel good about myself. Ouch. That little scale doesn't deserve that level of power and responsibility over you. You're the one who should be deciding, I feel good about what I got. In fact, I would love to see you. How often do you weigh yourself?
Every day.
Okay. I would love for you to see how long you can go without weighing yourself. Best you can. No more than once a week. Prefer you didn't even do that. Prefer, in my perfect world, you wouldn't weigh yourself for 3 or 4 months. And therefore, doesn't matter. You know how you feel. Chances are, and instead of letting the number on the scale tell you what's happening, how's your body? Ask yourself, how does my body feel? Based on how I've been living, based on how I've been eating, based on how I've been taking care of myself. Something, I feel a little stagnant, I feel a little heavy. Great. So what do you need to do? Do you need to move more? Do you need to dance more? Do you need to be happy? Like, what needs to happen instead of looking at a number on a scale?
Mm-hmm.
And feel your body. Just feel your body. Yeah, feels like I might be losing weight. Oh, feels like I might be at the same. Oh, can't even tell. But it's a great practice in detaching. It's kind of like breaking up from a bad relationship. You know, if a relationship is really bad and really abusive, like just like make a clean cut. The scale ultimately, yeah, there's days it makes you happy, but it's always come back to disappoint you.
Right.
It hasn't made you a better person. That relationship does not make you the best version of you. It doesn't help you to become the best version of you. It just keeps this conversation going. Good girl, bad girl. I like myself. I don't like myself. No. Let's determine that you like yourself no matter what.
Yeah, because I definitely give a lot of power to the scale too, kind of let it make or break my day sometimes, which when you say like it's just a machine that spits out numbers, it shouldn't have that much power over me.
Yeah. Take back the power from the scale, take back the power from the number. Just let it go. Let it go. Don't look back. It'll call you. It'll tempt you. You know, I suggest that instead of just leaving the scale wherever it is, wrap it up in a bag, put it in the basement, put it in the garage, bury it if you want, step on it and kill it if you want. You know, that would be my ultimate goal for you. Just beat it up and kill it. And then you're free. Did you notice a difference in how you feel between the time we got in this conversation and now?
I do. I feel lighter, not like a heavy burden feeling, and I feel like I have some good ideas of moving forward in a more positive way that is exciting to me, that not to feel so weighed down or heavy with stress all the time, and just having obsessive thoughts about food and weight all the time.
I can see it. There's such a difference. There's a difference in your voice. There's a difference in just your energy, how you're holding yourself, because you're taking back the power already. And that's what counts, is you being in your power, your fullness, your womanhood, your queenhood. That's where the energy is. That's where the action is. That's where the power is. That's what's going to make you happy. That's what's going to make you feel good. And, you know, we do our best and let the chips fall where they may when it comes to weight. And, you know, you listen to your body as best you can. You get rid of all the voices and you start to listen to yourself. What a great new road to go down.
Yeah, it definitely is exciting to think of it that way, and definitely helps me to feel just more positive and not have like a heavy feeling.
Yes. Well, congratulations. I think it's been a great conversation.
Thank you so much.
Yes, Denise, good luck to you. I think you're gonna see a lot of progress quickly for yourself here.
I hope so.
Okay. You take care.
Thank you, you too.
And take care, my friends.
Hey friends, we're so happy that you've joined us for another episode of The Psychology of Eating with Marc David. Are you loving these episodes? Then simply subscribe and you'll never miss an episode again. We'd also love it if you'd leave us a comment below so we can hear more about your own journey with food and body. And if you're curious about what we offer at the Institute for the Psychology of Eating, including our internationally acclaimed coach certification training that's rooted in dynamic eating psychology and mind-body nutrition, please head on over to our website, psychologyofeating.com. Until next time, take care, and remember, having the body you want starts with loving the body you have.